We live. What up? What up? And what up, though, to all y'all out there? Thanks for coming back for another week of this college football show. It is early in the morning right now, so we didn't woke up our guy Conor Mac all the way from Vegas, and we didn't got a big Ragoo up and ready with his Florida State flag flying high in the sky today, and we about to get ready to rock and roll. What's up with you guys?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I got both my partners to the west of me, one on each side, and ready to get into some football, man. That flag that's hanging behind me, it's going to be up temporarily depending on what they do next week, so we'll see what happens.
That's right. Well, you've been opening and closing that thing for years now, but
yeah,
it's getting its run, I guess. Let's give a shout out to our chat, man. I do apologize to the chat because this show gets so intense sometimes. I forget to show my homage and respect for y'all showing up with us. So shout out to Alan Epstein. Shout out to the Tazar. Shout out to Raymond. I can't say that last one right there. And shout out to Ezekiel 420 and Andre just jumped in here with us too. So we ready to rock and roll. It's early.
Yep.
Bets are already laid for me. We could get into these morning games real quick so everybody can get a little shot at what's going on for today. So we do have 3 cancellations today, right? We have Houston, Baylor canceled. We have Central Arkansas State. Of course, that was canceled. And we also have it's one more. Is it Georgia Southern?
Baylor and Houston's canceled. Georgia Southern, FAU, and Arkansas State, and then earlier in the week, North Carolina and Charlotte is off the board.
Oh wow! So y'all make note of that. Even though I see lines still popping up for some of these, but I don't think they're gonna happen. So don't put that in your mix. Don't put that in your mix. Let's jump to the top of the board. First game jumping off right here. I see Syracuse, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is minus 20.5. Well, opened at minus 20.5. It's up to 21.5. Go for it, big Ragoo.
All right, now this game here, surprisingly enough, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, another big double-digit dog in this spot here, and they hung pretty tough last week, breaking that game down against North Carolina. And I think they're in a similar spot here, but I think the big difference in this game is as nice as a team Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they can move the ball up and down the field really, really nicely. You got a second year Kenny Pickett. He's a couple 3,000 yards. He's got like the third best season in Pittsburgh here history, 3,000 yards passing, and I think they're going to be up against it a little bit here because they don't score a lot of points. So that's the thing with Pittsburgh. They produce a lot of offense, but they don't put big numbers on the board. They average like around 21 points a game, which is almost dead last in the ACC. And I think Syracuse, even though they're young in a lot of spots, I think this is too many points for them to cover the spread. If they play like they did against North Carolina next week and Pittsburgh, they're not playing Austin Peay, okay? Austin Peay, they had the mercy rule last week. Just a different team. As bad as Syracuse is and young, I think they can hang tough here to maybe I lean Cuse here getting the points in this spot.
That's what's up. You got to look on that one, Connor. It's a pass for me. I'm not a Pitt. Some teams you just don't understand enough through your trials and tribulations with them. Pitt Syracuse is one that I'm confused. I don't know what team we're gonna get on the field for neither one of those teams. So it's a total pass. Are you got something on that, Connor?
I'd be with Ragoo here. Take the points with Syracuse. Pitt is a 21.5 point favorite. I like Pitt as a dog. I don't want to lay 3 touchdowns with Pitt just because they look good and beat Austin Peay last week. And Syracuse scored to indicate how good they played. I mean, they played pretty well against North Carolina until the fourth quarter just unraveled. So I would definitely take the 3 touchdowns and a half if you want to hear. I'm just contemplating this one kind of, but that's where I'd go here.
That's what's up, man.
We got a low total here. The total is down from 51.5 down to 48. And like I said, with Pitt's offense, I think they ranked 114th nationally out of 130 teams. So that tells you the story right there. So, maybe everybody's on the under also, but dangerous when you get into the 40s in college football.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's keep it moving, though, because these games are popping off soon.
Yeah.
Next up, Boston College, Duke. Duke opens at -6. For some reason, I just seen this morning before I laid it, that it's down to a 3.5 right now for Duke. I mean, I really like it. Like I said earlier in the week, I like what I seen on the field from Duke against Notre Dame. Even in a loss, I seen that they can move around. Notre Dame has a pretty good defense. I see them getting out there, moving the ball, and getting the ball up in the air some too. So I like that about Duke straight up on the win side. I like that. -3.5 is cool. But I also like the over in this game. I think this Boston College team, they returned a lot of players on the line. Even though, A.J. Dillon's not there, they're going to probably shy away from the rushing game like they did before. So you should see them putting the ball a little more in the air, because the last few games of last season, there was a lot of games they had to come from behind. They had to learn how to pass. So their passing game has getting a little better. They got a tight end over there. They got somebody to throw to, like a little wide receiver by committee crew. So I expect them to put a few points on the board. And I'm leaning heavy on this one to the over 51. I think what is it now? Yeah, I get a 51. I see a 50.5 at Pinnacle. So, I like over in this one. I think it's a low number. I think both teams put up points. So I'm going over in that one.
All right. Well, I like Duke too here, -6. I didn't bet it, but that would be where I'd go here. I don't really have a feel on the over under at all, but I watched Duke play Notre Dame last week. They look good. I think they can get a touchdown cover here against Boston College. It should be a good game. So that's just my lean on this one.
Yeah, well, you could do better than 6 because it's down to 3.5.
Exactly.
Right now?
Yeah. It's moving down sharp. So listen, we talked about this game. We talked about this game on Wednesday night. I leaned under earlier, but the more I look at it, the more I kind of not go the other way, but I'm kind of off of that right now. But Boston College is going to bring the experience in the trenches, where they got probably one of the best offensive lines in the country for running the ball. I think they get more of a ground control game that might open up the pass from later on. But Duke has a good pass defense, so I think we're going to see some run established early. Maybe look to a first half under possibly. I don't know what that number is, but I think right now the way that the sharps, it looks like the sharp numbers coming on Boston College money wise. So I leaned under early in the week, but I would probably look at the first half under, just because I think Boston College is going to run the ball a lot early and try to establish a run and open up the game later with the pass.
I like it. Let's keep it moving, man. Shout out to the chat, Dutch Boy Fresh. That's one of our guys. He's in here with us. Nasty Nate jumped in here with us, and Gas Station Sushi, along with Andre and Mark. So, and Cash Action Bets just jumped in here. And my guy, Maxwell Smart, is in the house. And the Die Hard MMA podcast is in here with us too. Good morning, fellas. Good morning. Let's get this money. Next game up, Louisiana Lafayette, Georgia State. Now, I'm taking a risk on this one. I don't really know exactly what we're going to get out of Georgia State in this one, but Louisiana Lafayette looked really well against Iowa State last week, and we don't know exactly what kind of Iowa State team we had. And after looking at the stats from the game, it looked like Louisiana Raging Cajuns looked like they kind of pride themselves in efficiency. They wasn't in a rush to move the ball, but they moved it effectively, and it showed in the numbers. They had really good low numbers. So not a lot of yards passing or running, but just effectiveness and a nice win right there. I think they bring the same style to the field this week. I'm not sure about laying 17.5 with this team, because they were efficient on offense, but they weren't like high flying. So I don't know if they, to cover 17, you got to be kind of high flying. I don't think they're high flying like that. So if I had to, I would go ahead and take I would take Georgia State plus the points. But I see the most value after looking at this thing in the under. The under in this one, I find the most value because, like I said, this team is about efficiency. They're going to run the game well. Georgia State, they like to run the ball, so it's the clock's going to be running. And opened up at 60, has been bet down a little bit to 58. Opened up at 61.5, bet down to 58. So I like it under. Get the best price you could get for it. Anybody got anything else on that game?
They're touching some 57s on that number too. So if you're going to get the under, you want to beat that closing line there to get in on it. But my main concern here, not as a concern, but as far as laying the number with Louisiana, I love this football team. They're in that conference. They always play App State for the championship. We know what they're all about. In the dog roll, we've seen what they did last week. My main concern here with this team is, at first I was thinking, well, maybe they don't stay focused after that big win on the road, coming back to play Georgia State, little Georgia State. Georgia State has double-digit dogs. I think they're like 1-7-1. Lions 10.5 or greater. That's a little nugget right there. And they're 1-5 ATS in the last home game against teams with a winning record. So, but 17 is a pretty good size number. I think the under is the right play here. I think you're not going to get a high-flying offense with the Cajuns. I think they're just going to grind it out and wear this team down. And maybe they get to the number late in the game. But this is stay off for me. I'm not on it, but that's just some information I have on it. I mean, and then I think defensively, the Georgia State Panthers are like the worst in the country, giving up like over 36 points a game. So you can check that out.
Nice. Anything to add, Connor?
Yeah, I bet this game. I took Georgia State. Man, you can get 17 right now. I love the Raging Cajuns last week in that dog roll. It won outright. We were on it, guys. Georgia Tech's bringing back 16 starters. The only question mark I have is their new quarterback coming in. So it's got me a little, but they played well last year. And if I get 17 at home, I got to take it here. I just think, Louisiana's how they coming in real high, big win, huge favorite on the road. It's not that big right now with fans, but as normal. But so, I took Georgia State in the 17.5.
Nice. I was on, like I said, Georgia State as well, but later on in the week, I had to sit down I had too many picks, so I had to sit down and choose where I found the spots I found the most value. And it's always, to me, a lot more value when you don't have a side and, you have a total because, so I see the total a little more interesting in that one for me. But let's keep it moving. I think I lost. Next game up is which one?
You got Liberty, Western Kentucky, Navy, Tulane, and then Tulsa, Oklahoma State.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you guys don't got anything on Liberty or Austin P. You want to jump right to Tulsa?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You want
to
start off, Connor? Connor, you got any looks on that?
No, I don't have any looks on Austin P or Liberty. Yeah.
No. Oklahoma State and Tulsa.
Yeah, my only look here is I don't want to lay it with Oklahoma State. We talked about it earlier on Wednesday. There's only a game or two, or maybe because I'm just cautious on these overs. I don't know if I want to pull the trigger at 66, but we talked about how this game easily could be a 48, 28, something like that. I think Oklahoma State could get in the 50s. So that's my lean here is on the over 66. So.
Yeah, I'm on the same way. I'm the same way, except it's not a lean for me. It's a play. I just think, I know that, dynamically speaking, OSU, they're loaded up on offense. They're gonna run the tables. I think here, Spencer Sanders, Chuba Hubbard, they're all back. The nice thing about here, which normally in the Big 12, they're all geared up for offense and. But they have 11 guys back on defense. That's the only pause that I had originally looking at it. But I still think, like you said, Tulsa will probably get in the 20s, and OSU is probably going to hit the 40s or the 50s themselves. Easily. I think they probably hit the high 40s to mid 50s in this game. So I think they're closer to 70 plus points here. I know it's going to be a little bit of a stretch. You're going to have to probably. It's not going to be a first half game that you're going to go to sleep on with the total, but you might get there like. Late third quarter, mid fourth quarter, somewhere in that range. if both teams are putting their offenses together. So if they struggle early, then we're going to have a tough time. Maybe I'll look at a halftime bet or something like that. But I'm definitely on the over here.
Okay.
Not one of my favorite games right here. I wait to a little further down the line when I get a better sample size out of these two teams before I make a move. But shout out to our chat. We got them coming in out of everywhere. Ron Figs in the house. We got Gas Station Sushi in the house. We got Maxwell Smarts in the house. Paco Healy's in the house out of SD. And our guy, Noli Knows, is also in the house right now. So thanks, you guys, for help coming through, supporting us over here at Odds.com. If you have not yet subscribed to Odds.com, please do so. And make sure you give us a like, man, so they keep us on here. And we keep coming back every week with these bangers. And, help us out a little bit like that. But we really appreciate y'all coming over and spending some time with us. And let's jump into the next one because I don't really have much on that one. So you want to go ahead over to the next one? We're looking at
right
Navy Tulane. A game. Big Ragoo kind of turned me on to this one right here. I didn't realize that the total was so low. With the kind of defense that Navy played against BYU, they have had a little time to address that. So they may have, but a lot going on for a military team right now. And this Tulane team, they're tough. They can put points up on the board. Last year, they averaged 33 points a game, 242 on the ground, 208 in the air. So they can put some points up. And Navy's defense is not playing that good. They had enough time off to come over and work the offense. I see 3 touchdowns out of Navy for sure, just out of the option and the running game that they have. And then I see this Tulane team putting up at least 3 touchdowns as well. That'll put me close enough, a field goal, a fumble, a touchdown, or something right there, put me right over that short number. And I'm really liking the over in this one. And I spoke with our guy Noli this morning about this game, and it's a really good likelihood that Navy is going to be a different experience than playing that BYU team. Maybe that BYU team was really good. You have yet to continue to see, but this Navy team should come together this week, and they may have a shot at winning this game.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm normally Navy under. I like the Academy's under guy, but I like nothing about this game. I like Navy. Like you said, they didn't hit anybody or practice. That was like, wow, when the coach said that. And Tulane's, but I like your lean on the over a little bit. Normally I'm an under. That's why I'm staying off it. But that's where I'd look to. I think Tulane gets theirs, and Navy should be able to move the ball and score as well. So that's just my look. Ragoo?
I don't have a play in this game. I early when we talked about it, and I kind of got off it looking at some things. So this was going to be a total pass for me. But like to DJ's point, maybe they can trip and get that total possibly. Who knows? We'll see if they get some offensive. Usually the defenses are ahead of the offenses. Have we seen that early on this year? But for the most part, it's a no play. But also, guys, when with odds too, odds.com on the website, there's all kinds of great articles. We have some top-notch writers that are putting good content up there. And of course, you're familiar with the YouTube channel, checking us out here. And of course, the odds page, for everything sports related. Get all your numbers, your sharp numbers over there from all the best books. So check the website out also.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And we still got them pouring in the chat, man. I really appreciate everybody showing up. And it's been a few weeks we've been on now, and everybody's been showing up more and more. I really appreciate that. I'm getting more excited. That brings out better picks. So let's jump into one of my favorite games of the day is Notre Dame and South Florida. Now, kind of tricky game now that I had some time to sit with it. Earlier in the week, I was high-ho on Notre Dame. I looked at the revenge factor of this one. South Florida beat us opening game 2011, 23-20. I don't see Kelly as a revenge type of guy, and I don't see him really going for their throat. And these players are so far apart from that team. I don't see that really making a difference in the game. You got a first-year coach over here at South Florida they do bring back some players on defense, but I think they really outclassed anyhow. So I really like Notre Dame minus the 24.5 points, despite my rule of thumb, which is never to take Notre Dame over 15 points when at home. But I think they get to have some fun today, and I think they let loose. It's an early game for them. They get out there. They still got time to party or social distance, whatever. But I'm kind of off on the side, and I'm looking more at the total now, which is also a little difficult for me too. But it could be a blowout game, and Notre Dame could hit that 48 by themselves. But this defense on Notre Dame is pretty tough. I don't know how tough this South Florida, but Notre Dame's defense has known to slip up and allow a team at least one touchdown. But they could pitch a shutout. So I don't know. I think I want to have fun with the game and just take the over. But it should be probably a fan bet spot where I take that 24.5, and if Notre Dame wins by more than that, whoop-de-doo. So I don't know. I'm still sitting with that one. I got time, but yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Anybody else on that game?
Yeah, I'm on that game. I'm on South Florida here. I got to go against my Fighting Irish. I took it at 25.5 just about an hour ago, and I just saw it's 22.5.
Yeah,
so
it's
dropping. So I'm glad I got it. I just, like we talked last week, I just don't like Notre Dame. You know, they're always, I think, a little overvalued on the line. And give me the 25.5 with South Florida. And like you said, Kelly doesn't like to usually stick it to teams and blow teams out. I think it's slow moving. You know, Notre Dame could win 48-0, but I just never like them over 3 touchdown favorites, you know, at home. It's bit me too many times. So I'll gobble the points here. Take the 25.5. South Florida.
You got to play Big Ragoo?
You got ahead of that one. That was good, Connor, with that number there.
Yeah, I'm surprised
I think it correlates. I think the number here correlates with the under to South Florida because of the fact that, you know, Notre Dame, you know, they kind of shut Duke down on the run. I think they gave up like 73 yards rushing that last game, and I know USF, you know, used to be a pretty dynamic team years gone by, but not so much. I mean, I think last year, I think they played the Citadel last week, and I think the quarterback only gave they only got 11 completions out of 16 passes there. So this to me, this game definitely is trending to the under and definitely trending to the plus points. Unless DJ says, you know, they get out of control, but this is going to either go one way. It's going to either be a blowout, as crazy as this sounds. It's going to be a blowout, or it's going to be like a nail biter. It's not going to be like, you know, backdoor cover here. It's either going to be, you know, a blowout one way, or it's going to be a tight fought game.
Yeah,
you know, going down late. I don't see it like, you know, I don't see like a 21-point win. I see like either a 40-point win or a 10-point win.
Well, from listening to you right now, Big Ragoo, I think I kind of like the under 2 now. I think it has the best value for me because of Notre Dame's defense. And when you was just breaking it down, I'm thinking like teams that go in to play Notre Dame, your strategy got to be to keep the ball. You know, you have to do all the efficient things to be able to have an opportunity even to beat Notre Dame. So they got to go in with the mind state of you know, just being solid, taking their time, using the clock, and running the ball. You know, they have to take all that in consideration. They're not going to go out and attack Notre Dame at home. So, and Kelly, as you see, he's decent with walking the game at the beginning. He'll run 3 times in a row, kick it on a 3rd and 1 on 4th and 1 on the first series. And, you know, he does all that other crazy stuff later on when he has to in the game. But he's willing to play a slow game as long as the other team is. So I think that under has the most value. I'm going to put that in. I was thinking about breaking the game in pieces and trying to find a spot within the you know, the quarters or the halves, but I think that under gives me the most value.
Yeah, maybe a first half under even too, you know.
Yeah, that's why I said I was thinking about breaking in pieces. First half we could get what is it? First half, we can get 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Book throwing 3 touchdowns in the first half. Yeah, the under might be the play, but I know the under is a better play full game too with Kelly because if he's up at halftime, he'll put in the
Start
second, third
grinding it out.
string.
Yeah.
He spoke of playing the 13 defensive tackle. Well, he said 13 different players inside the box. So they got depth over there. So he's definitely going to move into some of those second teamers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm putting that in right now. I'm booking the under.
Okay.
Let's go. Next up in line is App State Marshall. Now this is one I know we got some good opinions on this one. We're all over this one. I like App State a lot. App State numbers look great last week. They were efficient on the field. They just played a slow game. They didn't have all the bells and whistles that people wanted to go along with they win, but they won. They were just short of the cover. Cover was kind of high at 17. They hit 15. They didn't do a bad job to come in this game and only have to lay opened up at 3.5. And I know a few people that jumped on it that early, and I got it at 5. So I took App State -5.
Yeah, I got on this one. We talked about this one Wednesday night also. This was a lean for me. Then shortly after I played it because I seen at that time I caught a 4 on this one here. It was 4.5, and I caught a 4. But yeah, early on, these are the kind of spots I like App State in. These short numbers, and the dog rolls against the bigger teams, obviously. But Marshall's a nice team. Not to take nothing against Marshall. I mean, coming off the bench, they played Eastern Kentucky last week, and I think they had some COVID issues, if I'm not mistaken. Marshall did enough to kind of keep the game intact. But that being said, they did score 59 points against Eastern Kentucky last week. So we'll see how they come out this week against a different looking App State team for sure. But App State's well coached. We know about what they're all about week in, week out, and we'll see what happens here. I think the only thing that concerns me, we're looking at a bowl team here with Marshall, and you really didn't get a good gauge on them versus Eastern Kentucky last week. But I think this is going to be a good game. This will be a good one to watch. And I think this game comes on at 3:30, if I'm not mistaken. It's a 3:30 start. So let's see who's carrying the game. I don't even know who's carrying the game. I don't have a TV schedule. But anyways, it's a 3:30 game.
CBS.
CBS has got the game on? Okay. That's what's fun about this time of the year, too. We're starting to see a lot of these teams like the App States, Louisiana, they get national primetime games. So a lot of these guys as cappers, they get a good look at these teams and see what they're all about. So, but that'll be a fun game to watch for sure, I think. But I'm in early at -4 on that one.
I like it. I like it. You got anything on that one, Connor?
Yeah, I'm looking the other way. We got till 12:30. I'm gonna tweet it. I want to dig just a little bit more on some of the COVID of the guys on Marshall, but I like them in the spot here. I like the 5, and I like a money line. I just think I like App State. I just don't want them going into Marshall. I think Marshall's a good football team. I like them as a home dog, but I'm going to dig it a little deeper before I put it out. But that's my lean early. Marshall in the 5. Might do a little money on it.
Those midday games are real good for putting some thought into it, especially if you don't have a good early game. So got plenty of time to have to put the hammer down on some of those at this spot right now. But it's always a good look to have a game in this middle of the day schedule right here. So you can open up your night a little bit, especially if that bankroll is rolling. So yeah, have some fun with that one right there. Next one, UCF Georgia Tech. I see the total at opened at 61 up to 63. The line was at -7.5. It's up to 8, so it's leaning in favor of UCF. We are talking to a Florida specialist over here with his Florida State flag in the background, his Tampa Bay hat, and all that good stuff. lay it on us.
You think I grew up in the South, right? After all this Florida gear I'm sporting over here,
Yeah, for real.
I'm what they call a replanted native. That's what they call us down here, I guess. But anyways, this is another game we talked about earlier in the week, and this is a game I got down earlier in the week. I laid the touchdown here with the UCF. I think the only and Georgia Tech coming off of that huge win off of Florida State, they look really good in that game. So do we measure that they looked really, really good? They got a ton of returning starters. Don't forget they got like 10 on offense and I think like 8 on defense. So second year in that system, that spread system. So it's a new look team. It's new attitude for these guys. But UCF, it's going to be the same song and dance for these guys. They're going to play tempo, tempo, tempo. Whether our guys at Georgia Tech can slow them down a little bit in Georgia, we know they're going to try to play a keep away style of game. I believe Georgia Tech is. They're going to, even though they're running that spread, I think they're going to have some different schemes and looks for UCF. Now UCF's defense is pretty good. At first, I was thinking, maybe more towards the over. But I says, nah. I think they'll get double digits here. I know a lot of people are going to be going against me in this particular spot, even though the lines are moving up. But I think UCF is going to have too much too quick for these guys, and them coming off that big win. We'll see how focused Georgia Tech is going to be in this spot.
Nice. I'm going to follow my man Big Ragoo. I'm going to stay out of Florida's business. I'm a West Coast guy. But I'm gonna leave that one to Big Ragoo. How about you, Conor Mac?
Yeah, me too. But as it's moving here, like I liked them last week, I didn't take it. There's Georgia Tech here and the points at home, and UCF has been really good. But last year on the road, they didn't cover. They burned me a few times on some lines like this. Like they were like -10 at some places and played some really tight ball games. So that's my lean here, and it's going up. I mean, if it could get to 9 or 10, I might take a look at taking the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. Well, the late steam is going to come on these especially these high-scoring offenses teams that can put points up. And you're right, they did kind of have some struggle spots. But I think this spot, especially after that big win with Florida State, and
True.
We'll see how the locker room stays. How coaches keeps the locker room in check, whether they're able to stay focused. I'm sure they're going to come out and give a good effort. I'm not saying they're going to get blown out, but I just think UCF is going to be a touchdown better here, at least a touchdown better. So I'm safe with the 7. I think
they supposed to be
9 points. 9 point might push me off the other way. If I was looking at that, but even though I'm talking out of my ass as far as double digits. I'm saying I get off the game at 9, but you always want to beat the number. That's the key, guys. Beat these numbers to beat the books to their numbers, and you don't want to be on the other side of that number. That's the whole key of making money in this process here.
Yeah, that's what's up in that one. So let's jump on over. If you guys have anything on Troy and Middle Tennessee, now I've been watching the Sun Belt teams. Sun Belt been doing good out of conference right here. This one, Troy's laying opened at 3.5 down to 2.5. They ain't really been out here playing too much lately. I think they had some COVID issues on Middle Tennessee at one point. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on, so it was a pass for me. You guys on that one?
No. I don't have anything on this game. I pass.
Well, let's keep it going to the next one. If y'all have anything on UTSA and Stephen F. Austin.
No, I looked at this game a little bit. I couldn't take Stephen F. Austin with 15. But I looked into it. I didn't see anything here. What about you guys?
Not my cup of tea. I mean, I was on UTSA a couple of weeks, I think, when they played Texas State or something like that. And they did a really good job. So I don't know. I'm not buying into them. So I'm not going to jump into this little mismatch right here. Citadel Clemson, is that still playing? I don't think so, is it? Well,
yeah, I think they're playing, but who's going to bet that game?
Right. Yeah. That was way too high for my blood pressure. But we got SMU in North Texas. Now, I can tell you, I've seen the SMU play. this year. I haven't seen much out of North Texas, but this is a later game right here. Haven't really sat down with it totally, but if I'm gonna make a play later on today and I have to come up with a pick, this might be a go-to game. You got the total looking at 70 and a half up to 71 in some places, which is not much movement. The side is SMU minus 14 and a half. Pretty much across the board. You can get a 14 out there some places, but so that's a solid. The line, not too much line movement. Pretty solid team that you got a little sample size on. If I had to jump into it, I'll jump into it. You guys got to play in one of in this game?
I do not.
I don't have it, but I could tell you what. By looking at that total, you know that Bouchel's going to light up the scoreboard. And what's the number on the what do you got to lay with North Tech or SMU to get the cover here? What's
14 and a half?
14 and a half. So they're telling you that North Texas is going to put some points on the board, right? Just so we can talk about the game somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's telling you if they're 14 and a half, and we're talking about what do you think? How many points do you think SMU is going to put up in this game? If you had a guess.
I don't know. They didn't look that impressive. That impressive in their opening week. They didn't cover that week either. So I don't know if they could even. I'm looking at 70 as a high number to get with the offense that I see.
They got to be at least in the mid 40s for that number to be 70, right? If they're going to be a double digit favorite, you're talking like 50 points. 7 touchdowns. 7, 8 touchdowns versus the other team getting 3, 4 touchdowns or 5 touchdowns, 7 versus 5 touchdowns, some crazy number like that. That's going to be a shootout at the OK Corral. That's going to be a pass for me, but just to put a little insight on reading into that number a little bit. So we're going to get points obviously, but if you don't think they're going to get points, maybe you go the other way. Maybe if you don't think SMU could hit 50 points and Texas can score 30. Or 20, 28, 40, 47, 42 to 28 points. That's basically what they're telling you. They're telling you 48, 20, 42 to 28, right? At 70. So figure under 14 points. So they're kind of telling you what the score should be. So if you don't agree with those scores, maybe you look at a team total either way, over and under possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would lean under in that one. Just North Texas haven't seen the field. You got all those not being on the field factors to go through, and same thing for SMU. They had a week off, so they have those same little bubbles to go through, getting back on the field in the first quarter. A little bit of that, getting out of the first quarter with 7 or 10 points, that'll get you that under at 70 all day. But I'll think about that one a little later. Now, this one is the big one of the day. I'm not too interested in it. I really want to watch it more than actually bet it. But Miami and Louisville, I haven't seen anyone really talk up a case for Louisville that I could buy into. And even though I don't feel Miami played their best football, I don't know if they're how far their ceiling is. I would take Miami in this one if I had to take it. But what y'all got in this one?
Go ahead, Ragoo.
We both got an eye test on that national game with UAB Miami last week. King, he looked great in that game, didn't he? I mean, he was fantastic all over the field, making plays with his legs, throwing the ball down the field. That was not the wild card for me, but I want to see how King would do. Now, supposedly UAB's defense was going to be pretty stout against the run, and I think Miami kind of, I would say they kind of dominated on both sides there. I just think they're going to play a different Louisville squad. They got some dynamic players, some great pieces on offense. Cunningham, the quarterback, he's kind of like you're going to be looking at a mirror quarterback here. I think in both regards, you're going to be two similar style plays here. It's just whoever's going to execute a little bit betterly on the defensive side. The line is in the proper spot here. I think it's a field goal game, possibly either way, or a touchdown game. Even though technically it's a pick'em game with the line, it's a 1-score game here. I don't see any unless there's a bunch of turnovers or somebody has an awful day, one way or the other. But I think both ways you're going to see an exciting game to watch. I would lean personally. I would lean to the over here in this game. I know it was 59.5 when we talked about earlier in the week, and it's flown up to 65. So guess what? I'm not playing it. I mean, I slept on this game, I guess. I kind of went to sleep here. I should have played it when we talked about early in the week. So now, the value, I think the value is gone in that number. So I think this is like you said, I'm going to take a sit and watch and kind of go to school on both these teams a little bit more when they start playing tougher competition amongst themselves. So it ought to be a fun game to watch. But I would definitely lean to the over earlier in the week. But I would hope that. I'm going to be pulling for Louisville just for sentimental reasons because I'm not a big Miami fan. I know there's a lot of Miami fans out there, but I'm going to sit and watch this one. It should be a fun game to watch. Watch what the defenses do with the offenses. That's going to be the key matchup here for how they contain either King or Cunningham because we know they both have playmakers. I would give the edge. I would give the slight edge to Louisville on account of probably better receivers, but Louisville's defense bleeds. That's the bad thing. Miami's got the better defense, I would say. So that's going to be the key matchup is will Louisville's defense show up to slow down King? That's the key matchup in this game.
Yeah, I think Miami and King, they still got to work out some kinks, in the offense. I don't think they look that impressive against UAB. Like you said, they have a good defense. Miami whipped them last year. I'm not big on the revenge, but I like Cunningham at home. Atwell, I think he has a big day. I'm taking Louisville here. I'll lay the small -2. It's 1.5 now with them, and I'm taking Louisville.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, for the sake of having a little bit of action and that being the big game for the day and for a small bit of cash, I'll buy my lesson in that one. I'll buy Miami to win on that one and cover. I'll buy that. And if Louisville teaches me a lesson, then I pay for it. So I'm just gonna say that right here. I don't see where the hype is behind Louisville 100%. And I seen the Miami team that played their game. Like you want them to play Miami from way back or something like that. That's not what they do. They did a really good job at what they do last week. So I'll give them that and going into this one.
Yeah, it'll be key how Miami plays. They just were so over the last few years, which is different. They got King. He's a different playmaker. They were just such a different team on the road than at home over the last few years. It's just such a huge contrast for me.
Yeah, so. I mean, I totally agree, but I think that they're making moves towards being better. They played a lot better than they did last year. But our guy Dennis Garcia says Miami didn't have to play their best game last week anyhow, not showing anything on film for Louisville. Game is a repeat for last year. Miami wins. So I don't know. We got a lot of opinions out there on that one. And I'm sure hit me up on my inbox, blow up my Twitter and let me know how that game's going. What else we got on this card over here?
The other key game would be the Wake Forest NC State game.
Wake Forest, NC State. Now I seen a guy Maxwell Smart hollering Wake in the chat earlier, so I kind of lean Wake Forest on this one too. I'm not too sure we're gonna get out of North Carolina State. Wake Forest, even in their loss, they just had this energy about them, and if this one right here, it's a short number. I think they can get it. I think they fired up to win and play some football.
Yeah, everyone's on Wake Forest here, and the line has totally flipped. They are now at -2, 2.5.
Yeah.
Totally flipped. So I'm going to stay off. I'm going to watch this. I always like the Wolfpack as home dogs, so I'm going to watch this one.
Yeah, definitely a steam spot here for Wake. Like DJ says, last week their energy was good. They didn't come away with the win, but they're well coached. They did lose their quarterback, their starting quarterback, to Georgia, and then he opted out for the season. But they're going to run the up tempo here. NC State is dangerous as a dog roll at home, like you say. They burned me many a time with the team right behind me and some other teams, but. Dorn's he did a nice job with this program so far, and this is going to be a rival for years to come with this NC State coach running that program there. So I know they're very young. It's a promising football team. So we'll see. They do have a bunch of their tacklers coming back, which is nice for them. And Leary struggled a little bit last year for them, but I think they'll get better. This is a grow up spot for NC State. This is a pass for me too. And I was all over Wake a lot last year, early on, first halves, full game, that type of thing. So I'm going to wait and see in this one. This is going to be a pass for me.
That's what's up. Like I said, for me, I like Wake. You on Wake too, Connor? Or you say you want to wait and see?
I just don't like the line movement.
The line movement. I feel you.
Yeah.
A lot of people have mottos behind that type of line movement. I'm not sure.
No.
Are you supposed to, if the line moves like that in favor of another team, you're supposed to take that team, right?
I mean, it all depends. Over the years, everyone's on Wake Forest. I just want to watch this game. The more it moves, if it went to 3 or 4, I'd maybe look at NC State. I like how Wake Forest has played the last year and even the last game. Hartman's a decent QB. It's just a watch. The Wolfpack have always played pretty well at home, usually, though.
Yeah. And
I got Wake as a 4-point winner in this game.
Okay.
Let's do it. Well, I also, you know me, I'm always jumping in the smoke that I ain't got no business jumping in. But Texas State kind of burned me a few weeks in a row. They playing Louisiana Monroe. It's conference time right here. This is the bottom of the barrel in the Sun Belt. But Texas had that swag, kind of like that same swag that Wake Forest had, even though it was in some losing efforts. But it took time for them to acclimate the quarterback, Vitt. I think they're a lot more solid with Vitt in there. They got blocking up front, and that's what I'm really keying in on. And the history between these two teams, Texas State has covered a few times. Louisiana Monroe usually thumps on them a little bit. And I'm taking Texas State. I'm gonna buy this lesson too. It's gonna be the last time I buy in on Texas State. If they don't win this one, I'm done. If y'all hear me say anything, if Texas State don't win, y'all hear me say anything about Texas State, just boot me out the show. Okay, just boom, get me up out of there because I gotta learn these lessons. But shout out to the chat, man. Alex Ramirez, man. From the bottom of my heart, Alex, man, I appreciate you, man. You show up every time, no matter what we're doing. We could change the game and be doing kid toy reviews, and Alex Ramirez will still show up and show some love, man. So big shout out to Alex, man. And Chris Brady, we got my guy Bookie Lover Q came up in here with us. Appreciate you for showing up, man. Chris Brady, Maxwell's been hanging with us all day. Short shot, Timmy, Robert Cherry. I'm not good at names. Of course, Noli Knows and gas stations hanging in here with us. So I really appreciate everybody hanging out with us, man. That's pretty much the card. We're gonna jump into. Anybody got any upset alert plays or anything this week? Because you guys were awesome last week with those upset alerts.
Yeah.
And those dog plays of the day. I think those are better than the best bets at times. But me, myself, as a dog of the day, it could kind of be a crapshoot. I could play it safe and try to play something cute. But, as a dog of a day, I don't know.
It's a short board, a lot of Duke. I'll give you a little breakdown real quick. Duke's up 7-0 in the first quarter. Boston College 7-0 halfway through the first. Liberty 7-0 over Western Kentucky. If you laid 14.5, you got a little sweat going on there with Western Kentucky. And Tulane 7-0 up early over Navy.
Yeah,
that's your early looks on there. But let's get it. If we don't have a dog play of the day, how about our best bet of the day? And we'll finish with that.
I got so many plays that I can't even call one my best bet play, and a lot of them already jumped off. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just today is buffet day, man. You just get
Buffet.
you know how you go to the buffet and you don't care about vegetables or whatever. You just get what you want. You know what I'm saying? And I got a plate full of sampling a little bit of everything. And it's gonna be good for me long term because after it's all over, I'm be able to evaluate these bets, look at these teams from a brighter light, and carry this on. So win, lose, or draw today. Hopefully I break even at bet. Well, I ain't gonna say at best, but hopefully I break even and learn my lessons and all that good stuff. But I got a lot of plays out there today, and I'm just gonna let the good times roll. It could be one of those super duper big Ragoo type days where you go 7-8 in a row and kind of do it like that because that's people I hang out with. That's where I come from. That's what I do. But you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have some fun today. Thank God these games are already on. The wife and kids are far away from me, so I'm gonna have some fun, man. How about y'all?
I'm always gonna have fun no matter what. But hey,
Okay.
I'm not going 7-8-0 like you. I'm going 3-0. But my best bet of the day, my plays today were the App State game, right? I laid what 4 points on that one.
Yeah.
UCF -7, and the best bet of the day for yours truly is over 66 points in the Oklahoma State game. Take that to the window and cash it.
Take it to the window and cash it. How about you, Conor? You got a best bet?
I don't, but here are my plays. I got Louisville, Georgia State +17, South Florida +25.5, and I took Syracuse 21.5. And I'm going to dig deep. My two dogs are going to be. I really want to look into these games. They're 12:30. Is the more I look at Georgia Tech, I like, and the one I talked about with Marshall. I like the 5, but I like it money line just as well. Might as well. So I want to look into the COVID, some of the kids, and dig deep into those. I'll post them on Twitter. That's the last games I really want to bet. So
I'm a social distance my way away from all the COVID games that have COVID issues because I got caught up in that little trap the last time. But I'm gonna go ahead just to give a best bet of the day, and I'm gonna back that Appalachian State. Like it has the most value on the board. I think they dropped the line way too low. I think Appalachian State is definitely better 7 points than Marshall, but if Marshall comes to rock at home, then Conor Mac
Connor's
gets
a
his
lone
dog
wolf.
of the day. Yeah, but sometimes that's the best place to be. That's the best place to be. But I'm gonna go ahead and take that one. A lot of people in the chat is on that one anyhow. I missed my best bet last week, even though I had a phenomenal week last week on all my other looks. But I'm gonna go ahead and step Appalachian State, my best bet of the day. If it loses, I learn a lesson with them too.
Cool.
Anything else, Big Ragoo?
We learn lessons every day coming to the chat and cutting it up with each other. So that's what we're here for, to learn and move forward. And cash tickets, of course.
And cash them tickets. So if you haven't, went ahead and subscribe to Odds because we do come on Wednesdays as well, late night. So if you want to be able to come hang out with us, put some more of your insight in the chat. We can talk about it. Make sure that you subscribe to odds.com. Give this show a like so we come up in your feed and you come and check us out every week. Probably going to get some special guests in here some way or another. We'll have Ian with us some maybe next week or something like that. We don't know. But we're going to keep this thing rolling, man. Y'all got anything to tell the people before we shut this down?
No, let's win. Let's get it.
Yeah, shout out to our guy Ian. Ian, we'll see you soon, my man. We miss you. We'll see you. Hopefully next week, Ian will be back with us.
There you go. And that's it for us, fellas. Cash them tickets. Come back and see us on Wednesday. We'll talk about it. If you want to talk about us, because we get trolls from now and then because we're doing such a great job, come back on Wednesday and troll us again. It's okay. We invite you in to have some fun. And thanks for everybody for showing up.
Later.
We out of here.
Peace.